Number 5. I found this amazing. 0% of freelancers stay in regular contact with the people who they have met for interview. So if you've been selected and you've actually got through to an interview for a job, or you've spoken with someone about a job, or you've exchanged emails with someone, no one calls them back. Now, as a habit, what you need to do is create a list of people who can potentially employ you or potentially refer you. Now, if you're a researcher and there's an AP on the program, the AP is unlikely to be able to employ you again because they're not at that level. But if you can send if you send an email to them saying, "Hey, I'm looking for work," they may be working on something else, or they may be able to recommend you to another person. They may forward that email on without you even knowing it, but you might get work that way. But the point is to regularly keep in contact with your network of people. This is Katie Mabbitt, who I don't think is here this evening. She's an art director, and she sends me the most perfect emails for exactly this staying in contact. She has a lovely little anecdote. She's talking about the work she does, and she just says when she's finishing. There's no big sell there. There's no big pressure. There's no big, have you got any work? Have you got any work? Have you got any work? It's just, I'm available. I'm happy to speak to you about the work I'm doing. And I haven't actually employed Katie for 2 years because most of the stuff we don't actually need art direction on. But the thing is, she stays in my head and I remember her. And I've got cameramen, and I've got, on my phone, I've got hundreds of Richard, cameraman, David, cameraman. And I can't remember who Richard and David are, because since we've done the job, they don't keep up to date and just send me the odd email saying, I've just finished working on this TV show. So when I do come to needing a cameraman, I don't look up my first port of call is maybe my top 3-4 freelancers and find out their availability. If they're not available, then I move to production base. But as I say, I have got contacts in my phone, on my computer, who are cameramen, but I haven't got the time to sit there and go, oh, that's Richard. Which job did he do? I can't remember. But if you are regularly sending an email to all the people who can possibly employ you, you will stay top of mind. And by that, it's just the recall that when someone is needing a researcher or an AP, oh yeah, there's that guy, I got an email from him 2 weeks ago and he'd been working on this program, so yeah, why don't we give him a call? And the way you can survive the cull is by not being in the cull. If you stay in the top of the production managers and producers' minds, and if you keep in touch with all the people that you work with in a friendly, non-confrontational way, and by that I mean not downright asking for work, but just saying you're available, this kind of strategy will work wonders in keeping your name out there and making sure you get that call. Those are my top 5 tips. Make sure your covering letter is not just about you, but about the company you're applying, about the program you're applying for. Give your skills context, name your referees, no answer bot lady, and stay in touch. We have a website, cv4.tv, and we put our anecdotes and blog postings and all sorts up there with some good examples and bad examples. I run my workshops approximately every 2 months, and there's normally between 5 and 10 people in any session. As I say, we spend the first hour where I go through my methodology for creating a great CV. Then we spend another hour going through each of the individual CVs in the group and seeing what problems they have. And a lot of the problems are shared. A lot of the problems where person A comes up with something and it actually applies to everyone else. After the session, there's then an exchange of emails where you send your revamped CV to me, I'll look through it and send it back to you with more comments, and I do this a couple of times until people have got it right. If you're interested, then you can send me an email with your CV. I'll look through it. If I think I can help you, I'll invite you onto the course and I'll tell you when the next one is. If I look at your CV and think, actually, this is a damn fine CV, or you're doing 90% of it right, I'll tell you. I'm not going to waste your time and money coming for me to tell you what you already know how to do. If you want to stay in contact with us, there's the website, our Twitter, and that's my email address. So I've been Gavin Ricketts. Thank you very much for your time.